Are we ready, everyone?
I think I could use a little bit more makeup, please. Makeup.
This is fun.
I know, it's so much fun. I've been really looking forward to this for, I don't know how many seasons now. Finally, we're getting to it in season 9.
Rhea, we're ready to roll.
Absolutely, Mr. Quince. Okay, all right. Quiet on the set, everybody. It's a very special holiday edition of Cider Chat. Okay, let's go into the episode a little bit, and we'll take it from there.
1, 2, 3.
Hello, my name is Rhea Windcaller, and I am the producer and Cider MC of this weekly podcast. And usually this is a point where I would tell you that the podcast is all about interviews with makers, cider enthusiasts, and folks in the cider trade from around the world. But on this year episode, number 439 of Cider Chat, well, it's a special holiday edition. Brought to you by Cider Chat featuring the Talking Pommes. And now you heard a little bit of the Talking Pommes coming in, and perhaps some of you out there in Ciderville know the Talking Pommes, but allow me to introduce to you my friends, the folks who make this podcast happen each and every week through the production, through good humor, and some mighty fine cider and
Perry. Don't forget the Perry, Rhea.
yes, the Perry. And of course, that is Pear that you're hearing.
Yes, I am Perry. Hello, and happy holidays.
And of course, we also have the Medlars
Hello, happy holidays.
and Mr. Quince.
Happy holidays to you and yours.
And so what you're going to be hearing in this here episode is a story that we have been working out for all of you to share with you a little bit of the magic of Ciderville as we experience it during the holidays, which means this is a good time to settle in, warm up, maybe get yourself something nice to drink. If there is some cider for the big folks and maybe some fresh pressed apple juice.
Or pear juice, Rhea. Pear juice is very good.
Yes, pear juice is fantastic. And settle back and just enjoy and allow the magic to take you there, because it's these special times in Ciderville that I really cherish, because things slow down, and I like to try to slow down before I leap into the new year. And so before we get to that featured presentation, I'm going to just tell you a little bit of things coming up in 2025, so you could, in the meanwhile, get yourself ready, get your little cup full, and then we'll be rolling to our featured presentation.
I think we should move on, Rhea.
Okay, Mr. Quince, we're going to move on.
Hooray!
Coming up this February 2025, the 4th through the 7th in Chicago, is CiderCon. This is the annual trade conference that is hosted by the American Cider Association. And the special guest country this year is Chile. That alone should be reason to go to CiderCon. It's going to be wild to be hearing the culture of Chile and how extensive the apple history and cider culture is there. And if you don't know, there is a theme for each CiderCon, and this year's theme is Cider's Balanced Future, Planet, People, and Profit. And yeah, when you think about that trifecta of planet, people, and profit, that's a lot. It's a lot to actually hold in balance. And I think it says a lot for the American Cider Association that they're even taking those three elements all together and putting it forward. And how to figure that all out? Well, they have the workshops for you. But I want to, in this episode, focus on something that came across the wire to me, and that's the Grand Toast. This is an annual event that took place at CiderCon, and that's on the final day. There's going to be a Grand Toast. They have a sponsor for it, which is called Amorete. They're sponsoring the Grand Toast again. And yeah, I do see on my email, and I'm sure that you're probably getting these emails too, it's been 6 years since we had a Grand Toast. And frankly, I remember all the past grand toast. The first one I ever had was with UK cider makers, and it was just a glorious time to kind of bring everybody back together in the grand ballroom and raise the glass. And that's what we really do the best, is to network and come together. And that is just one of the key reasons why attending CiderCon is so important. There is a promo code for Cider Chat listeners for your registration to get $30 off your ticket, which you could put towards going to some of the other events taking place during CiderCon. And the promo code is Cider Chat, all one word, 2 capital C's. So I hope to see you in Chicago, February 4th through the 7th for CiderCon 2025. Get your registration in today at ciderassociation.org. And I have one more piece of news before we head to our featured holiday presentation, and that is there is a Totally Cider tour heading to England this coming August the 25th through the 31st. We're going to be meeting in Bristol and touring around Somerset. We're actually going to be getting a tour of the Showering Mill. This is the second largest mill in England. The Showering family has been at that site for 400 years. If you haven't heard my interview with Nick Showering, do look up that in the archives for Cider Chat. And there'll be an upcoming episode with Bob Cork, who has been the cider maker there for the past 40 years. So yeah, we're going to be going to the Shepton Mallet Mill. That's where the Baby Sham is being made, and the Baby Sham iconic deer is too. So there'll be more about that and a lot about all the makers and different stops along the trail in Somerset, and then heading up to Herefordshire, going to the Museum of Cider, having cider maker dinner, and also going to the Ross Cider Fest. So this is just an incredible, I'm so thrilled to do it. And if you want to come along, do get your name on the wait list. Send an email today to info@ciderchat.com. Put in Cider Tours. Let us know how many folks are in your party. We'd love to have you. There is a growing wait list, so please do not delay, because it will be first come, first serve. And Totally Cider Tours are just an absolute blast, certainly in my mind, because guess what? I'm leading it, and I hope to see you there. Bravo! It's time now for our holiday presentation just for you, Ciderville. So sit back, enjoy a special presentation with the Talking Pommes and I as we tell you the tale of It was the night of the holiday pressing, and all through the cider house boxes of apples lie in waiting, and there was not a peep from a mouse.
The mice and I have an agreement.
They have a bowl of apples outside by their mouse box.
Ah, I see. So that's where my gingerbread house went.
Maybe yes, maybe no.
Rhea, I do hope you include boxes of pears in this story.
Perry,
Hang on just a second, Mr. Quince. Yeah, I think Perry's right. All the pommes should be included. But don't you think the first line of this story should be about apples?
We aren't writing this for Tom Oliver.
You're still having feelings about Tom saying you were the...
Don't say it, Rhea.
let's not mention him again in the story, shall we?
Fair enough. Shall I begin again?
Take two.
It was the night of the holiday pressing, and all through the cider house boxes of apples, pears, quince, and medlars lie in waiting, and there was not a peep from a mouse.
Perfect.
Pears could go first.
Perry,
Right. Carry on.
Empty jugs waited with anticipation all along the cider house walls. Tomorrow, juice would be flowing, and they'd have empty bellies no more. The Talking Pommes cozied up into their respective bins, hoping for dreams of spring blossoms and always brighter times ahead. The Medlars with their kerchief, and the Quince with his cap. Even Pear was ready to settle down for a long winter's nap.
That's my favorite line, Rhea.
I know, Medlars, we do enjoy a good nap. Suddenly, out in the orchard arose a loud clatter. The wind came roaring in through the trees, even waking the voles way, way, way down in their snowy vole chambers. Then someone
We're not sure.
It was Perry.
said,
Is that a giant I hear laughing?
Perry popped open the cider house shutters.
Do like this leading role.
I bet you do, Perry Pear. May I continue?
Continue on, Rhea.
And away to the window we all flew like a flash.
I'm scared.
But you wrote this part. It's okay, Medlars. I'm easily scared too. Let me continue. I'm going to continue. Shall I continue?
Yes.
The full moon showed brightly in the snow-laden orchard, and all the trees stood at attention as if to say,
On with the show.
and then, to our amazement, we saw what appeared a miniature sleigh with 8 apples all dressed up in gear.
This is my favorite part.
Up front was a plump pear,
Yes, that's me. I am Perry Pear.
and I see that you added into the story that the pear was dashing and slick, too.
Indeed.
All at once, Apple stood up, and then the Quince whistled to get everyone's attention. Are you sure you want to have the Quince whistle in the story?
Perhaps just clear my throat.
I think that's a little bit more realistic, but your call.
Then the Quince gained everyone's attention with a clear and considerate or maybe it's or perhaps just
That's it.
Yes, number 3.
Yeah, third time's a charm, Mr. Quince. All right, continuing on. And then Apple shouted loudly, Now Dabinet, now Dakota, now Pippin, and Vixen, on Comrade, and Cullen, and Dalgo, and Blue Pear Main?
That is for John Bunker.
Ah, well placed. To the cider house, to the press, we dash without delay.
Quite dramatic, but I like it.
And as the cider house door creaked open, all the apples and friends came in. Over to the old press they flew, with a sleigh full of apple bins.
I love this.
Indeed.
And then, with a twinkling eye, the wild geese began to roar. No one understood them, except the Medlars, of course. The cider house was filled with laughter and dancing pommes, and way out in the orchard we heard howling dogs. Tonight, everywhere, everyone is special in our own special spots. And so we all started dancing. Even Mr. Quince was cutting a rug. Then, as the old cider press began to rumble, we turned our head around to see Apple coming down the chimney, dressed like a queen.
Sunshine love, sunshine love, love the sunshine.
Apple really knows how to enter a party with flair.
Roger that, Perry.
Apple was dressed with bangles and bongles and a bit of ashes and soot, and over Apple's shoulder a sack of bottles to boot.
But of course.
Apple nodded to all with a twinkling eye, and the Pommes in presence squealed loudly with joy. The sack dropped to the floor with a clink and a clank. No one will go thirsty tonight, Apple exclaimed. And I can't be certain, but I think I saw the cider press smiling, letting out a deep ah. Everyone's cheeks grew rosy as the night wore on, and more friends arrived with bottles raised high. There were fiddlers and drummers, pairs with stovepipe hats. In the center stood Apple smiling, filling cups from a flask.
Happens every year.
That's right.
A group of apple varieties from Albemarle to Kingston Black encircled the room while the Medlars played jacks. There was Breda and Royal and a Quince named Smyrna, who had broad shoulders and a round waist that shook like a bowlful of Jell-O.
That's my cousin.
A few hours later, after all the chocolate was eaten, Apple bowed to the crowd and announced, "It's time we be leaving. Now Dabinet, now Dakota, Only designated drivers, please. To the next cider house we must fly. I got a text. They're out of bottles.
Such drama. Such flair.
Roger that.
The sleigh took a leap, and all the apples cheered. Through the orchard they bounded. Holiday magic was here. The wind began to swirl, and in the distance we watched with awe as that sleigh full of apples bounded across our front yard. A whoosh softly echoed from the frozen lake down the hill, and in the cider house the wild geese were snoring for everyone to hear. It's a nice kind of snore.
Indeed, indeed.
Especially for a cider house.
True that. Mr. Quince grabbed warm blankets to wrap around our bubbling friends.
Tomorrow's our last pressing.
He said with a yawn. The Medlars tucked in to their round woven basket, and our dear Perry took one last long look at his own reflection.
My, I say, I do look dashing.
Turning to the door, I flicked off the lights, and as it creaked open, bid everyone good night. Night-night, Pommes.
Night-night, Rhea.
Good night, Medlars. See you in the morning, Mr. Quince.
Roger that, Perry Pear.
Then before heading home, I took one last look at the orchard. It was covered in snow, with big dogs at attention. I heard a soft woof and knew all was well. So on to the house I trotted, while the snowflakes softly fell. Now I can't be sure, but I think it is true. From the valley below, I heard a village singing one of my favorite tunes. We like palms, we like orchards, having some fun. Perhaps it was a cider, or maybe my fatigue. I can't really recall, but believe you and me, above way up high, I saw a bright, bright light. Was it a snowflake listening, or a sleigh full of apples zooming by?
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
Now before I head to bed and we say adieu, from the Talking Pommes and I, this is our wish for you. May your dreams be blissful and your cider glass full. And may you take time to raise a cup to magic. It's there, believe me or not. That I will leave up to you. But perhaps if you do, you too may see abundance abounds, we need only to believe. And now it is time for me to say so long to you and yours. Happy holidays, wassail, and to all a good night.
That was perfect.
I think we could go in and add a little bit more on pears.
Perry.
I love you, Pommes.
Roger that.
All right then. Well, let's head out of here because we're going to be seeing Ciderville in 2025.
Yes, looking forward.
Me too.
We leave you here. This is Rhea Windcaller and the Talking Pommes.
Hello.
Signing off for now and looking forward to seeing you in Ciderville.
We like cider, we like palms, we love orchards and having fun. There is a reason,
There is a reason why we do it like this.
Oh yes there is.
There is a reason why we do it like this.
Oh yes there is.
There is a reason why we drink it like this.
Oh yes there is a reason. We like walking through the orchards, dancing in the streets, smelling all the blossoms, kicking up our feet. We like cider,
like pomes. We like orchards, having some fun.
There is a reason.
There is a reason why we do it like this. Oh yes, there is.
There is a reason why we do it like this.
Oh yes, there is.
There is a reason why we drink it like this.
Oh yes, there is.
There is a reason. We like walking through the orchards, dancing in the streets, smelling all the blossoms, kicking up our feet.
Oh yeah.
We like cider.
Oh yes, we do.
We like pommes.
Oh yes, we do.
We love orchards, having some fun. There is a reason. There is a reason why we do it like this.
Ba-da-da-dum.
There is a reason why we do it like this.
Ba-da-da-dum.
There is a reason why we drink it like this.
Ba-da-da-dum.
Ba-da-da-dum. We like walking down the orchards, dancing in the streets, smelling all the blossoms, kicking up our feet.
Oh yeah.
We like cider.
Ba-da-da-dum.
We like pommes.
Oh yes, we do.
We like orchards, having some fun.
Yeehaw!